So, hello and welcome to the workshop. Stay true to the thread. My name is Damian Matuszewski. I come from Poland, but my fencing history actually is more connected to Sweden. I started HEMA in general in 2014, and there I was fencing for about 9 years. Last year I moved to Poland, back where I started my own club in Łódź. Um, that's all about me and the workshop Druid. So the way I perceive rapier and the way I try to teach it is through principles. Because to me, principles are the true lessons to learn. Techniques are just the interpretation and examples of the real, which we'll see. And today, the principle will be to always keep your true edge filo brito to your opponent's blade. For that, we will need some terminology. And well, first of all, who doesn't know where is the true edge in the rapier? You all know. That's good. True edge, anyway, it's the one that is with the knuckleball. If you hold tersa, the one to the ground. The next part that we need is the outside and inside to be defined. So we have the inside part is from the rapier towards the chest, the outside is from the rapier towards the back. And we need guards that we use today. We will use second and we use fourth. I will come back to this in the later part, but let's start now with a warm-up. This is the first workshop. You can put down the sword.
Stefan, maybe I can borrow you. Okay, so today's principle is, again, always put your true edge to the opponent's blade. We'll start with still warm-up exercise, what we use as a drill. We do it in pairs, and what we do, and what I call this is win the bind. So we do the blade work, where we don't want to thrust at each other yet. We will do lots of thrusting later. We want to just gain the blade and gain the line for thrusting. Okay, and in this exercise, I would like you to focus so that you do this with the true edge. Okay, and try to gain the blade well, there are several ways to do this. So if Stefan presents me the blade, we don't do thrust, so I can take this down. And first I can just present my blade here. Then Stefan needs to do something, for example, push back. Then I can do disengage under. In this case, well, we shouldn't do this in place. Giganti says never to do cavazione in place, but let's skip this for now. We want to change here, and also what I can do, I can move around. Okay, I can change the line like this, and then Stefan has to adapt. And for example, what you can see is, for example, change of the guard from second to fourth, or from fourth to second, or sometimes you need to do disengage. You can also do the disengage above or below, depends on the situation. Okay, so get in pairs and move around. Okay, you don't have to be stationary like we did. You can move around freely. Just play with the blades. Okay, try to win the bind. Try to be the smarter one all the time.
Is one going to play the instructor and one is the student?
No, you are both competing with each other in trying to win the blade. Okay. Trying to win the clear line of attack without in the same time blocking the line for opponent with your blade.
I say okay and pretend that I understand.
Yeah, just try it out. Try it out.
On my post, so on my back of my cat. Yeah, so this is the so you are doing this. I don't know. Okay, so
let's gather. Let me check so that I don't miss anything actually from my plan, master plan. Yeah. Okay. Before we go on, maybe we need. Well, I need you to try, and maybe for you to be adaptation, maybe not, maybe that's how you do it, but I would like you to try for today. That's another principle that I'm gonna sneak into this, that when you stand in a guard, and we're gonna stand in second or in fourth today only, we're gonna forget about terza for now. We want to close one line, one side, and open the other. What does it mean? It means that if this is the line, I stand here. If I stand in second, I want my blade to be to the outside, so that the opponent would see basically nothing of my outside here, and it would close the option for thrusting there. Mostly, I mean, we will see that it's still possible, but we want to open the inside. So if I would project my blade down, it would look like this. The important thing is, I don't want to cross the center line. I can touch it, I can be off it, I don't want to cross it. Because this would open your shoulder here to the opponent for thrust, and the reason for the guard is we want to close one and open the other and think, okay, anything that can come probably will come from this side. And the same for fourth. If I stand in fourth, I want to stand in such a way that I only leave an option of thrusting from this side, from the inside of, from the outside, so from right, if I'm right-handed, right off my rapier here. So if I project this down again, it's gonna be similar angle like that, okay, and it's not gonna cross the line. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Okay, we will need one more thing that might be something that you will bring back to your own clubs, how to practice, and that I call this rolling circle framework. We're gonna do all the exercises like that, but I want you to start already now, like with the simple ones, so that you understand how to make it work. So what I will need is, let's say 5 of you stand with the back against the wall here, spread. Just stand spread. You can put the masks on, yes. Okay, and we will be coming to each person and do one repetition of the exercise. So basically I would come here, do one repetition, then I will go here, do one repetition, go here, 1, 1, 1. When I'm coming to the end, I'm standing here, I'm the new trainer here. When no one is approaching the last person, the first person there, he is joining the circle. So we'll be rotating like a rolling circle sort of around the hole and changing quickly. Important is, it's fine to stop and discuss if something works or doesn't, but if you see a pair stopped, you don't wait, you just skip that pair and you continue. When they finish the conversation, they will jump in as soon as they're done. Okay, so they can jump in, they can stay in the conversation as long as they want. The first exercise I want to do, and we don't need to wait, everyone wait, so we can just go one to each one and then simply start the circle from, you know, already you marching on all of them. The first exercise I want to do is chodź, Piotrku. The first exercise is the trainer, so the one that has back against the wall stands in second or fourth. It's up to them. We have already the first choice. And what I want to do is I want to attack in second. I want to attack in second. And in this case, because I want to protect myself in the attack, I want to attack in second, and I always want to put my true edge against their blade. Okay, so if the trainer stands in second, it means that I have to put true edge against true edge. So it will look like this here, and then if he stands like I showed you, if he doesn't give me much on the outside, then I will have to slightly push here, or even better, if I manage to do this plow-like movement, so that my blade with the plow movement will land there. So I'm not pushing just the tip. I'm basically sliding in with not straight but with the angle there. That's why it will be stronger, and also he will less likely be able to react on it quickly. There. Okay? If he stands in fourth, it's much easier because I can go directly on the false line. I don't need to force anything. Okay? So again, the trainers are with the back towards the wall or towards the outer of the small hole that we have. And when you approach in distance and you do the exercise. Okay, so masks on, let's do it. You can approach already in the middle so that we start faster. Yeah. Well, you should do one and continue. So I said, yeah. But they started early so that we go faster.
Okay.
Yeah. So just wait a second. Just do one more. If you have to stop, just do one more. You can jump to the last one there if you want. Okay, and now you stand, no. You stand with your back towards the outside, and now you are the new trainer. Second or fourth, you stand. Yeah, if they stop in conversation, just skip them, go on. Stop for a moment. So I saw that some of you were switching to fourth. We're gonna do fourth in a second. I would like to 1 minute more with thrust in second, but I want you to focus really on putting the true edge and keeping the angle that is not like don't thrust in straight angle, like against the line, not like this, but try to do like this, the thrust, that if the blade traverses, it traverses with this angle. What it will do, it will basically gently push the point to the forte and away from you. Okay? So try to experiment with this. Just thrust in second. It's that simple. We will complicate it more soon enough. Okay? Just get this first. Good thrust in second. We're gonna do fourth in the next one. So there will be time for that. Okay? So second, and try to keep the line with respect to the, because I could do the thrust in second in straight. I don't want to do this. I want to do it inside because I want to catch the blade. I want to protect myself on the outside.
No matter if they're in second or fourth, we
Doesn't matter. Yes, doesn't matter. It will be different. That's the whole point about them being fourth and second, because it's different. Try it out. Okay, so we do the same, but the thrust is in fourth. Okay, so you approach and you thrust in fourth. And again, you want to present the true edge to the blade. Regardless if it's in second or fourth, it will be different, right? Also the left-handed, right-handed person will be different. But you want to have the true edge against the blade. And again, try to think about this angle that you want to continue with the blade angle along the thrust, angled towards the line. All right, so that you catch the blade on the way in. Okay, again, so let's continue this framework. that's enough for the simple thrust. We're gonna do more. We're gonna complicate things. But first, I wanted to ask you, who thinks it's better to thrust, like who thinks it's easier? Like in this exercise, you should get some feeling. It's easier to thrust true against false. Who thinks it's easier than true against true? So you think true against true is easier? Or you don't see a difference?
True against false is easier.
Huh?
I'd say true against false is easier because you.
Yeah, true against false. Well, depends also how the opponent holds the guard, of course. Because depending if their point is like I showed you, it will be easier because they open the side of the false of their blade for the attack, right? So that should be easier. And we're gonna start counters, and we will see that the principle of true edge works not only in the offense but also in the defense. And we will start with the first counter, with the first remedy. So, and we will start with the simpler version, or like what is easier for, what's more expected if you hold the guard properly. So we will start with the thrust on the false edge. Okay. So maybe if I borrow you. So now, wait a second. Now we will have the trainer that stands again in second or in fourth. The person that approaches has to set themselves in the opposite guard. It changes a bit if you are like right hand or left hand, but the principle is the same. So you want to set yourself in true edge against their false edge, and you want to go try slide in. Okay, but we'll add one more piece. So if I stand here in second, exactly, he has to turn into fourth. As he continues to thrust, I'm gonna change to fourth myself. So I was there, false edge on true. No, you were on fourth, yeah. I was there, false edge on true, and as he comes in, I change to true edge. So I use the true edge as my defense, and this happens. So I change from second to fourth. And if I started in fourth, and he approaches exactly my weak side, on my fourth side here, I change to second. That should be that simple. And look at one piece. Let's change on this direction. So I stand in second, he approaches in fourth, I change here. Look, he's gonna stop himself. I'm not doing anything with my feet. If I need to do anything, it's gonna be just to lean in. If he decides to opt out, or he was out of distance because it was a bit short, so I can lean in. And that's it, all I need to do. Okay? So, the trainers will be outside, again, back to the wall. You stand in second or in fourth. The person approaching puts the true on your false. As they come in, you change the side.
So the trainer will switch around.
Yes, the trainer now lands the thrust. Well, I don't usually use the trainer against. Trainer is the one that waits and invites the attack. And for me, the person that comes is always the person that comes from the center of the hall, that approaches into the distance and starts the action of attacking. Okay, and we will just do a bit different things. But the one that is back towards the wall, cannot move back, cannot move forward, is just stationary for now. Okay?
No, I need one more time. So the trainer is, if I'm the trainer, I'm here.
Yep.
I go and I make a counter thrust.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's do like this. You stand with me there, and you continue. Just do with the circle. So take 3 people with the back to the wall, and then we start from there. The same framework, changing it 1 repetition. Okay. So let's try it. You and me. So if you're the trainer,
Yes.
you stand in second or fourth.
Yeah.
I approach true to your false. So opposite guard. Since we are both right-handed, it's going to be the opposite guard.
Yeah.
I go fourth against your second. As I come in with the thrust, you change to second. Yes, exactly.
But okay, so this is what I want to ask, is because some of his t-shirts on, so I just needed to make sure if we're
Yeah.
here. But then I thrust above your head, of course.
No, because, well, you can thrust high second, you can thrust low second.
Okay.
Right? So what you want to do, again, you stand here in second, right? I thrust here in fourth. Yes. No need to go so high with the hand.
Okay, but it's because I don't want to fast you, so that's...
Yeah, but I have a mask.
Okay, alright, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Wiesz co robić?
Wiem, już wiem.
Okay. No.
Distance.
If it doesn't work, the most often reason is the distance at which you started. Okay, I will come back to the distances and how I turn them to another principle basically. But you don't, in this exercise and all that we do, actually it's good to start a bit out of distance and step in, gaining the blade like we did with the first warm-up exercise. You gain the blade in the proper edge, true on false, right? And then you continue with the thrust. This will give exactly the time for the person doing the technique, the counter thrust, basically stopping the thrust and opposed by change of side. Have enough time to process what is happening and actually do this. Okay, because we're doing it in exercise like slowly. You can, if you have jackets, you feel like you know the opponent, you have high level, you can speed up a little bit, but not too much yet. All right? Please go on. All right, let's continue the workshop.
Say collective skills. Because you don't see them anymore. That's invisible then.
Okay, so put mask on. So what we did now was the asymmetric bind, that is my true against the opponent's false edge, right? Now we should do the other one, so the symmetric bind. And symmetric is if he's right-handed, I'm right-handed, it's gonna be second against second, or it's gonna be fourth against fourth. He decides what he's gonna use, and we're gonna go now back to the offense. So we're gonna use this principle offensively. So what you will, maybe what you have seen in the first exercise of winning the bind, gaining the bind, is that sometimes if you go true against true, even if I try to press here a little bit, the opponent will press back and will re-establish the line, basically cancel my attempt and gaining the bind here. So he will cancel that. As soon as I feel the pressure from him back, what I should do is cavation, but we want to do it with change of side. So I go this time symmetric, true on true, and I try to gain now slightly by pushing to the center line, and I get the feedback back being pushed away. As I'm being pushed away, I disengage under, change to fourth, or change so that my true edge again, don't think about 4 seconds, think about true edge against the blade of the opponent, so that I close the line again and I end the thrust. And here comes the most important thing about cavation that Giganti says. Cavation should never be done in place. So when you do this movement, since you already know some rapier fencing, please try to focus, not divide it into pieces. You can do it slowly, very slowly. So come in, gain, put some pressure, get feedback back, and as you disengage, you continue movement forward. So you don't do a circle thrust, but you do circle like screw-like movement. All right? And remember, change the side. So you want to have the true edge, because that's what defends you. Because if I can show you maybe why we want to keep the true edge. If I don't do this, so I pressure, Jarek is pressing back, I disengage, go under in second. No.
Okay.
You just keep the line. Yeah, pressure back, I go here, I'm gonna just stop myself. Right, so that's why I want to keep the true edge, and the true edge is gonna protect me. All right, let's do it again.
I have to, sorry.
Here, to make it work, can I borrow you? Let's do it sideways. To make it work, I planned to keep it for later, but another principle, basically what I have is the principle of free. There is free distances that I measure with the blade, because blade is a nice ruler I have in my hand. I know its length, I know my reach with it when I stand in a guard, so I can use it as a ruler. And free distances, therefore free times of response, and therefore free groups of reactions, because I don't call it literally parries, because they can be different things, but there are free groups. So what I mean, present me please just blade, more like thrusty. So when his point is up to somewhere like 1/3 here, so still the weak part of my blade, this is the first distance, and this is the time and distance to make cavation. If he moves in further in, the second distance, this is the distance where I can use change of side, and it will still work. The third distance, that is like strong forte, like very, very forte on my side, or somewhere on my basket, I'm gonna have very hard time even to do the change of side at this place, because you see he's so strong already. Might end up in double, might end up in nothing, but I'm not gonna do the technique properly. What I do there? Well, a whole set of other things, like I can do what I call the desperate parry, more saber-like, still cut the leg, or this is where the left hand comes in, because that's the range for left hand, or this is, like the whole group of things. So the rule of three is there's three distances, and the distance is always, the distance is critical. Okay, people tell you all the timing, but the time comes from distance really. If you set yourself in the distance far away, they need to take time to come in, to come close, and you will have time for reaction. So distance is time. Distance is key to everything. And I divided it into three, and that's why I did it. Why did I say this now? Why did I bring it up? Because I saw that some of you try to do the cavazione when the tip of the blade of the opponent is already here, in the second distance, or even the third. It's not gonna work, because you will not be able to do cavazione. So if I say, set yourself to go. So suppose I come in too far here and I start pressing in. They press me back. I still want to do this. If I try to do this, I'm not going to establish myself strong enough to actually protect myself here. Well, yeah, you could say I could if I lift it up and stuff. Yeah, of course. But in practice, you won't have time for this. Okay, it's not going to work. So you need to make. So if you work with cavazione, it has to be in the last part of your blade. Is the very beginning. All right. So try again and remember to start with the right distance. So when you do this exercise, you want to start actually this distance closest. You should actually start here and take the opportunity. The opponent is standing there and come in, gaining the bind. Yes, and now I can do it, and I have the space and time to do cavazione. All right, let's go.
Okay, so let's go. Through and through. So if you are here, then I should be like this. Through and through. Yes. And now I should push.
All right, let's get together. So, you might think, all right, but with this situation actually happening, the push like to the side, well, sometimes it happens, but more likely what's gonna happen is gonna be the response of changing to the side to parry it, and your response to this push because of that should be immediately to do cavazione. But cavazione that still protects you, so goes to the other side and through on falls in this case. Okay.
What did they creation threshold?
Huh?
What did they do thresholds?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about this is it's a bit trickier if they stay in the low terza to do this, but if they stay in the sort of upper guards, even if they stay in terza, actually terza is the worst thing they can stand because it doesn't protect them on either side. So you can win on either side basically against terza. That's why in the course in our club, I basically I took terza and said, okay, you're gonna do this later. Once you learn how to defend yourself with second and fourth, then you're gonna learn terza. Okay, now let's extend this sequence with the counter to cavazione. And you have already learned that counter, but maybe you don't know it yet. Huh? Can be, but not necessarily, and not now. And you already practiced that. Change of side. So we start the same. So my opponent, again, this will be the person that stands against the wall, right? With the back of the wall. So he sets in the guard. I approach. I want to set like we did here, symmetric bind true to true. I start with gaining the blade. He pushes back. I do the cavazione, and I need to put a mask. Yes. So I go through on through. I press. He presses back. I immediately go to cavazione, and he defends by change of line. Don't lean back. Lean towards the bind. Always here with your head. All right. So go to the fourth, so that it works on either side.
Yeah.
So here I go to my fourth, true on true. I try to establish. He pushes back. I immediately go to second, and he goes, well, in this case, bicep. You can go high, you don't have to, actually. It's enough if the distance was right. So if you start everything kind of played in the right distance for rapier, only thing you would need to do is to go from here, extending here at the height of your shoulders. Right? And that will give you enough structure. And if you lean into the bind here or here, you're gonna have enough structure, like plenty of structure to catch the opponent. Okay, so do you know what to do? Yeah? All right, so to sum up, person that is standing behind, sets in the guard, second or fourth, gets the pressure, you press back, there comes cavazione, you change the side. Or from fourth, you change the side to second. Okay, let's go. So maybe you can start as you stand already there, nicely.
Yeah, okay, I try. You put me back, I do the compass and taking the side. Okay, try again. So. I start with this, pushing you, you pushing this back, I do the cavation.
And you change to fourth, yes.
That one.
All right, let's gather. First, any questions, any thoughts on what you have done now? All right. Stefan said that counter to cavation is a cavation. And it's true. So it's actually counter to cavation is cavation, but also counter to cavation is change of side. Counter to change of side is cavation. Or change of side. Yeah, basically. But basically, if you are thrusting and then you change the opponent changes the side, you are actually true to true. So you have to do cavation. Yeah. Because it all boils down to put the true edge against the blade of the opponent. So you do it either by cavation or you do it by change of side. If you are standing and not changing the line, that's basically the two options you have. Right? You either disengage and go to the other side, or you just force change the side to the other. So that's what I love about principles and how I try to look at rapier to kind of really boil it down to this couple of points. We managed to go for three. Basically, one is the major one for today. That's always true edge towards the blade of the opponent. If you are to take anything from this today, it should be this, just one sentence. Always true edge against the blade of the opponent. Does it work always? Is it in all the techniques? No. Because the system is such that you learn the system and then you start breaking it so that you disassemble your opponent, basically, and his structure and his thing. So there are techniques where you actually use the false edge as the bind and in the bind. But if you look at the illustrations and in the treatises, about 90% of them will be with true edge. Okay, with true edge against the blade of the opponent. And there is a reason for that, which is what we practiced. Not knowingly, we just did like 6 plates from Giganti, right, in these exercises. But I wanted to say, yeah, cavation against cavation. So Stefan said cavation against cavation. Yes, but again, second principle that I kind of smuggled in is the rule of three distances, 3 timings, 3 groups of, well, reactions or defenses, right? If the cavation happens in place far away from me, I have time to counter cavation. If the cavation comes close to me, I have no time to do the disengage under. I might have time to change. I might not have time to even to change the side. I will have to do like what I call the desperate parry, or use the other hand, or do something else. Okay, so 3 distances and 3 actions. The last thing that I try to smuggle is always close one side, open the other, which is know your guards and how to use them. That's my third principle. There are a couple more, but we're not going to do them today. And the last exercise is a summary of what we did today. Because it's the exercise, we do it in the same framework as we did now, but we call this choices. We actually had a bit of that, because you had the opponent either standing in second or in fourth, and that was already a choice. You had to go here or there and vary it a little bit. But now we will vary the reactions. Okay, so we do the choices, and we're gonna have 3 options and 3 responses. The first option, maybe if I borrow you, you stand against the wall. So you are the trainer, and you will have 3 you will have three options of reaction. So you stand in guard with everyone, second or fourth. I approach the way I like, the way I want. I can approach true to false. I can approach now false to false. What he may do is 1, nothing. Then it should be obvious what happens. But let's see. I go, I flap. Okay, that's the first option, nothing. Because this should always be your first sort of intention when you hit the bind to continue to flap. Second reaction maybe is you change the side. So I gain the bind, I start my thrust, you change the side here. To me, now, in this exercise, the attacker wants to land the thrust always on the trainer or on the defender. Let's call it the defender and the attacker. The attacker always wants to land the thrust there. So your role is to basically try to stop me, but you have 3 options. Either do nothing, or you do the change of side. So if I approach here, third one guard, yeah. If I approach here, I start the thrust, you change the guard, I continue with cavation. And that's what we practiced earlier with the push, basically, right? I approach here, he tries to push me, I go with the cavation. The third option he has is to do cavation. So I go here, I start my thrust, with which I change the guard. I change the side and continue the thrust. Okay?
Always work.
Yes. So we have the defender and the attacker. The attacker always wants to land the thrust. Your role is not really to defend yourself like fantastically, is to make it a bit harder. And you make it a bit harder by choosing one of the 3 options and practicing. So really change the side, do nothing, or do cavation with regaining the true edge on the blade. Okay? Let's do it. Let's see how it works. Let's wrap it up. As I mentioned, this to a colleague here, I call them principles because they're not laws. It's not like law of physics that has to obey, everyone has to follow it. Because well, otherwise you collapse on your face. It's a principle, so it's a guideline. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to use it all the time, but you actually want to use it most of the time because it gives you the protection that we want in HEMA, in historical fencing. Because keeping the true edge against the bind and keeping the angles will keep you safe. And we saw that we do it in offense, we could do this in defense, we just want to have that. Any questions from you? All right, so let's get the rapiers, let's do the salute at the end. Thank you. Thank you for the workshop.